Today I want to show you how to fix a plastic screw clasp that goes on the ends of these amber and gemstone necklaces. Both ends are different on the plastic screw clasp. That one there has the plastic screw insert in it, which is broken off low down, and the other end just has a piece of twine coming out. So that's the plastic screw clasp there, 3-part clasp with a screw on the inside. So to fix either end of these, you do need a piece of twine coming out the end. If there is not one there, you're going to have to cut one more bead off to get one out, but in this case there is, it's just got a knot on it. So I just snip that knot off so that I can then thread my clasp on. So just on the back of it there. Just popping it on how it will sit naturally. Then I'm just going to grab my glue. Then just placing the glue on the back of the clasp there and on the thread. So I just kind of slide it up a little bit to put the glue on and then slide it back down, if that makes sense, and then just holding it securely, making sure it's in place. And then I'm just going to leave that to dry for a few minutes. Okay, so this end with the inner screw that's broken, hopefully you would be able to just remove the screw and replace it that way. So you'd remove this screw here, and on your new piece put some glue on the bottom of it and just screw it back in. But if you can't do that, you need to remove the clasp somehow. You do need this twine coming out to be able to put a new clasp on. If you have a piece of thread coming out that's frayed, so you can see here my thread is actually quite frayed. The best option there is to add some glue and sort of fuse it together so that you can thread it through. I have another video on some threading hacks, so that's got a bit more detail on how to do that. But you can use the glue to sort of make it into a bit more of a needle point. And then I sort of cut the end into a point as well and use some glue, just so you can even get it through the hole on the clasp. Sometimes that's a bit tricky. Okay, so same deal as the other side. Once you've got it onto your little piece of thread, we just want to add some glue at the back of the clasp onto that piece of thread there. So just sliding it up a little bit and putting the glue on the thread, and then just also put some inside the clasp onto the thread that's inside. Then I just put some glue onto the inner screw thread as well. So on the bottom half of it, that's going to be threaded in. So while you're holding that nice and tight, just thread that plastic screw, that inner screw into the clasp nice and tight. And then just leaving that part to dry. Back to the other end, which should be secure by now, but I just like to make extra sure. So I put some extra glue right down inside the clasp. So the thread should be attached, but now we need to give it something to grab onto inside. And then I've got a little bit of thread here bunched up into a ball, which is just like a section, like maybe a centimetre of thread. That gives the thread something to hang on to. So I just use a skewer and push it down inside the clasp into the glue that you've already put in there. So if you need a little bit more glue on top, just put some on the top of that little piece. Glue is definitely your friend when you're doing this technique, so just make sure it's got enough in there. If you need to, just poke it down one more time with a skewer. And there's your plastic screw clasp. I would leave this for a couple of hours at least, or overnight to dry securely before you start wearing it.